नमस्ते। तो संध्या शुरू करेंगे 3 बार ओम के उच्चारण के साथ। लंबी सांस अंदर भरें, छोड़ते हुए ओम का उच्चारण। ओ ॐ भूर्भुवः स्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। तूने हमें उत्पन्न किया, पालन भी कर रहा है तू, तुझसे ही पाते प्राण हम। दुखियों के कष्ट हरता है तू, तेरा महान तेज है छाया हुआ सभी स्थान। सृष्टि की वस्तु वस्तु में तू हो रहा विद्यमान। तेरा ही धरते ध्यान हम, मांगते हैं तेरी दया। ईश्वर हमारी बुद्धि को श्रेष्ठ मार्ग पर चला, दाता हमारी बुद्धि को श्रेष्ठ मार्ग पर चला। पानी ले लीजिए हाथ में, आचमन करेंगे। 3 बार अपने आप कर लीजिए। ओम शन्नो देवीरभिष्टय आपो भवन्तु पीतये शम्योरभिस्रवन्तु नः। 3 बार अपने आप कर लीजिए। और उसके बाद लेफ्ट हैंड में पानी लेके होल्ड करिए और राइट हैंड को यूज करके अलग अलग शरीर के अंगों का स्पर्श करेंगे। लेफ्ट हैंड में पानी ले लीजिए। ओम वाक वाक, ओम प्राणः प्राणः, ओम चक्षुश्चक्षुः, ओम श्रोत्रम श्रोत्रम, ओम नाभिः, ओम हृदयम्, ओम कंठः, ओम शिरः, ओम बाहुभ्याम यशोबलम्, ओम करतल कर पृष्ठे। पानी अगर कम है थोड़े और ले लीजिए। ओम भूः पुनातु शिरसि, ओम भुवः पुनातु नेत्रयोः, ओम स्वः पुनातु कंठे, ओम महः पुनातु हृदये, ओम जनः पुनातु नाभ्याम्, ओम तपः पुनातु पादयोः, ओम सत्यं पुनातु पुनः शिरसि, ओम खं ब्रह्म पुनातु सर्वत्र। शरीर को सीधे रखें। 3 बार प्राणायाम करेंगे। तो सांस अंदर भरेंगे, छोड़ करके बाहर रोकेंगे। ऐसे 3 बार करेंगे। तो सांस अंदर भरिए और छोड़ के बाहर रोकिए। ओम भू, ओम भुवः, ओम स्वः, ओम महः, ओम जनः, ओम तपः, ओम सत्यम। दोबारा। ओम भू, ओम भुवः, ओम स्वः, ओम महः, ओम जनः, ओम तपः, ओम सत्यम। और एक बार। ओम भूः, ओम भुवः, ओम स्वः, ओम महः, ओम जनः, ओम तपः ओम सत्यम। रिलैक्स। ओम ऋतं च सत्यं च विद्धा तपसोऽध्यजायत ततो रात्र्यजायत ततः समुद्रो अर्णवः। ॐ समुद्रादर्णवादधि संवत्सरो अजायत अहोरात्राणि विदधत् विश्वस्य मिषतो वशी। ॐ सूर्यचन्द्रमसौ धाता यथा पूर्वमकल्पयत् दिवं च पृथिवीं चान्तरिक्षमथो स्वः। हिंदी भाव के साथ। ऋत सत्य के सहारे तूने संसार को सजाया, तेरा ही दिव्य कौशल है सिंधु ने दिखाया। पहले के कल्प जैसे रविचंद्र फिर बनाए, दिन रात पक्ष संवत्सर में काल क्रम चलाए। द्यौअंतरिक्ष धरणी नित नेम पर टिकाए, तू रम रहा सभी में तुझ में सभी समाये। ओम शन्नो देवीरभिष्टय आपो भवन्तु पीतये शम्योरभिस्रवन्तु नः। ओम प्राचीदिगग्निरधिपतिरसितो रक्षितादित्या ईशवः। तेभ्यो नमोऽधिपतिभ्यो नमो रक्षितृभ्यो नमः ईशुभ्यो नमः एभ्यो अस्तु। योऽस्मान्द्वेष्टियं वयं दुष्मस्तं भोजं भेदध्मः। पूर्व दिशा का ईशानयः अग्निदेव है, रक्षक है आदित्य न तुलना यह एकमात्र है। उस अधिपति को हमारा बार बार नमन है, वह सकल व्यवस्था और सबका सुख करता है। जो जन हमसे या हम जिनसे करते विद्वेष हो, तेरे विधान के न्याय नियम से सब द्वेष नष्ट हो। ओम दक्षिणादिगिंद्रोधिपति स्थिरश्चिराजि रक्षिता पितर ईशवः। तेभ्यो नमोऽधिपतिभ्यो नमो रक्षितृभ्यो नमः ईशुभ्यो नमः एभ्यो अस्तु। योऽस्मान्द्वेष्टियं वयं दुष्मस्तं भोजं भेदध्मः। दिशा दक्षिण का ईशान अनुपम इंद्र देव है, रक्षक नियम निबद्ध यह एकमात्र है। उस अधिपति को हमारा बार बार नमन है, वो सकल व्यवस्था और सबका सुख करता है। जो जन हमसे या हम जिनसे करते विद्वेष हो, तेरे विधान के न्याय नियम से सब द्वेष नष्ट हो। ओम प्रतीचि दिग्वरुणोऽधिपतिः प्रीदाकु रक्षिता नमिषवः। तेभ्यो नमोऽधिपतिभ्यो नमो रक्षितृभ्यो नमः ईशुभ्यो नमः एभ्यो अस्तु। योऽस्मान्द्वेष्टियं वयं दुष्मस्तं वो जम्भेदध्मः। पश्चिम में भी प्रकट हो तुम, हो वरुण कहाते, विषधारियों के बाधा विग्रह विफल बनाते। सब प्राणियों का पोषण करते हो अन्न द्वारा, दुख में दया दिखाते सच में तुम ही सहारा। हम बार बार भगवन करते तुम्हें नमस्ते, यदि द्वेष भाव न हम में हो तो न्याय तेरे हाथ में। ओम उदीची दिक्षो मोधिपति स्वजो रक्षिता शनिरिषवः। धिपतिभ्यो नमो रक्षितृभ्यो नमः ईशुभ्यो नमः एभ्यो अस्तु। योऽस्मान्द्वेष्टियं वयं दुष्मस्तं भोजं भेदध्मः। दिशा उत्तर के ईशान अनुपम सोम देव हैं, दुरितों का निवारक शांति प्रदाता एक ही हैं। उस अधिपति को हमारा बार बार नमन है, वो सकल व्यवस्था और सबका सुख करता है। जो जन हमसे या हम जिनसे करते विद्वेष हो, तेरे विधान के न्याय नियम से सब द्वेष नष्ट हो। ओम ध्रुवादिक विष्णुरधिपति कल्माशग्रीवो रक्षिता वीरुधैषवः। तेभ्यो नमो धिपतिभ्यो नमो रक्षितृभ्यो नमः ईशुभ्यो नमः भ्यो अस्तु। योऽस्मान् द्वेष्टियं वयं दुष्मस्तं वोजं भेदध्मः। दिशा ध्रुव के ईशान अनुपमय विष्णुदेव हैं। दृढ़ता स्थिरता के दाता वह एकमात्र है। उस अधिपति को हमारा बार बार नमन है। वो सकल व्यवस्था और सबका सुख करता है। जो जन हमसे या हम जिनसे करते विद्वेष हो, तेरे विधान के न्याय नियम से सब द्वेष नष्ट हो। ओम ऊर्ध्वादिक बृहस्पतिरधिपति शुक्रो रक्षिता वर्षमिषवः। तेभ्यो नमोधिपतिभ्यो नमो रक्षितृभ्यो नमः ईशुभ्यो नमः एभ्यो अस्तु। योऽस्मान् द्वेष्टियं वयं द्विष्मस्तं वोजं भेदध्मः। ऊर्ध्व दिशा के ईश बृहस्पति परम देव हैं। सात्विक सुख अंत के दाता वह एकमात्र है। उस अधिपति को हमारा बार बार नमन है। वो सकल व्यवस्था और सबका सुख करता है। जो जन हमसे या हम जिनसे करते विद्वेष हो, तेरे विधान के न्याय नियम से सब द्वेष नष्ट हो। ओम उद्वयन्तमसस्परिष्वः पश्यन्त उत्तरं देवं देवत्रा सूर्यमगन्म ज्योतिरुत्तमम्। प्रकृति से घने अंधकार से दूर अति है। जो बाद प्रलय के विद्यमान की अनुपम गति है। हे सूर्य शिरोमणि देवों का वह तेरे ही कृति है। तेरे प्रकाश की तेज महत है अति अनुपम गति। ओम उदुत्यम जातवेदसं देवं वहन्ति केतवः। दृशे विश्वाय सूर्यम। इस विश्व में ब्रह्मांड में जो कुछ विज्ञान विवेक है, उनका रचयिता मूल कारण ब्रह्म केवल एक है। गाई है गरिमा ज्ञानियों ने सतचित आनंद की। सूर्य रचना कर आनंद कंद निकंद की। ओम चित्रम देवानामुदगादनीकं चक्षुर्मित्रस्य वरुणस्याग्नेः। आह प्राद्यावा पृथिवी अंतरिक्षं। सूर्य आत्मा जगतस्तस्तु षष्ठ स्वाहा। समस्त देवों में तेउ ही अतिशय बल महिमामयी। मित्र पावक वरुण में तू ही एक ओजस्वीमयी। सूर्य आत्म समारमा तू जगत हृदयाकाश में। सर्वव्यापक अणु अणु तू है द्यौ में और धरनी आकाश में। ओम तच्चक्षुर्देव हितं पुरस्तात् शुक्रमुच्चरत्। पश्येम शरदः शतं जीवेम शरदः शतं। शृणुयाम शरदः शतं प्रब्रवाम शरदः शतं। मदीनाः स्याम शरदः शतं भूयश्च शरदः शतात्। हे सर्वद्रष्टा सृष्टि के तू आदि अंत और मध्य में। 100 वर्ष या उससे अधिक रहूं मैं ब्रह्म के ही प्रबंध में। बस ब्रह्म को देखें सुने और ना कभी आधीन हो। 100 वर्ष बोले ब्रह्म की महिमा कभी न दीन हो। ओम भूर्भुवः स्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। हे सुख स्वरूप तुम जगत के उत्पत्ति करता हो। प्राण स्वरूप सर्वरक्षक कष्ट दुख भंजक हो। वर करने योग्य तू, सद्बुद्धि का दाता तू ही। सन्मार्ग पर मेरी बुद्धि को ले चलो त्राता तू ही। हे ईश्वर दया निधे भवत्कृपयानेन जपोपासनादि कर्मणा धर्मार्थ काम मोक्षाणाम सद्य सिद्धिर्भवेन्नः। हे दयामय आपकी न दया यदि हो, कैसे है प्रभुवर जगत पर फिर कृपा की वृष्टि हो। मोक्ष काम वो अर्थ भी धर्म भी हमें प्राप्तव्य है, आपकी आराधना से ये सभी संभाव्य है। ओम नमः शंभवाय च मयुभवाय च, नमः शंकराय च मयस्कराय च, नमः शिवाय च शिवतराय च। सौख्य सिंधु दीन बंधु को हमारा नमन हो, कल्याणकारी विश्व त्राता को हमारा नमन हो। शिव शांति के प्रभु मूल उद्गम को हमारा नमन हो, मोक्ष सुखदाता विधाता को हमारा नमन हो। ओम शांति शांति शांति। अब ईश्वर स्तुति प्रार्थना उपासना, इसी के साथ संध्या पूरी होती है। संध्या मतलब सुबह और शाम किए जाने वाली प्रार्थना को, वैदिक प्रार्थना को संध्या कहते हैं। अब यज्ञ से पहले ईश्वर स्तुति प्रार्थना उपासना। ओम विश्वानि देव सवितर्दुरितानि परासुव, यद्भद्रं तन्न आसुव। ओम हिरण्यगर्भः समवर्तताग्रे, भूतस्य जातः पतिरेक आसीत्। सदाधार पृथिवीं द्यामुते मां, कस्मै देवाय हविषा विधेम। ओम य आत्मदा बलदा यस्य विश्व उपासते, प्रशिशं यस्य देवः, यस्य छायामृतं यस्य मृत्युः, कस्मै देवाय हविषा विधेम। ओम यः प्राणतो निमिषतो महित्वैक निद्राजा जगतो बभूव, य ईशे अस्य द्विपदश्चतुष्पदः, कस्मै देवाय हविषा विधेम। ओम येन द्यौरुग्रा पृथिवी च दृढा, येन स्वहस्तभितं येन नाकः, यो अंतरिक्षे रजसो विमानः, कस्मै देवाय हविषा विधेम। ओम प्रजापते न त्वदेतान्यन्यो जातानि परिता बभूव, यत्कामास्ते जुहुमस्तन्नो अस्तु वयं स्याम पतयोरयीणाम्। ओम सानो बन्धुर्जनिता सविधाता, धामानि वेद भुवनानि विश्वा, यत्र देवामृतमानशानास्तृतीये धामन्न धीरयन्त। ओम अग्नेनाय सुपथाराये अस्मान्, विश्वानि देव वयुनानि विद्वान्, युयोध्यस्मज्जुहुराणमेनो भूयिष्ठां ते नम उक्तिं विधेम। तो इन प्रार्थनाओं का समराइज्ड मीनिंग: O divine creator, you are the Lord of all beings, you are the giver of life, you are the supreme among all animate and inanimate things of the world. You are the sole ruler of all creatures. Please remove all the ills and evils from us and endow us with all that is noble. O God, abode of bliss, we offer our oblations to you with devotion. God, the self-effulgent being, you are the giver of spiritual and physical strength. You are meditated upon by the whole universe. You are our friend, creator, and support. You know everything, every place, and every region. Please lead us through the path of virtue to prosperity. As you know, all the paths of actions, please keep us away from evil deeds. And we bow to you with reverence again and again. So, okay, अब हम आचमन करेंगे। जो पास बैठे हैं हवन के, पानी ले लीजिए अपने राइट पाम में। जैसे संध्या से पहले आपने आचमन किया था, वैसे हर स्वाहा के साथ आप 3 बार आचमन मतलब पानी पिएंगे। ओम अमृतोपस्तरणमसि स्वाहा। और एक बार, ओम अमृता पिधानमसि स्वाहा। और एक बार, ओम सत्यम यशः श्रीर्मयि श्रीः श्रयताम स्वाहा। अब आप बाएं हाथ में पानी ले लेंगे और राइट हैंड को यूज करेंगे वैसे ही जैसे पहले आपने किया था, शरीर के अलग अलग ऑर्गन्स को स्पर्श करने के लिए। बस सीक्वेंस ध्यान रखिए, राइट एंड लेफ्ट। पानी ले लीजिए। ओम वाङ्मास्य अस्तु, ओम नसोर्मे प्राणो अस्तु, ओम अक्षणोर्मे चक्षुरस्तु, ओम कर्णयोर्मे श्रोत्रमस्तु, ओम बाहोर्मे बलमस्तु, ओम ऊर्वोर्मे ओजवस्तु, ओम अरिष्टानि मे अंगानि तनुस्तन्वा मे सह सन्तु। पूरे शरीर में। अब जिनके पास भी सुरबा है, लंबी स्पून घी डालने के लिए, वो ले लीजिए। उसमें कपूर ले लीजिए और उसको जलाइए। एग्जॉस्ट फैन ऑन कर लीजिए। ओम भूर्भुवः स्वः, ओम भूर्भुवः स्वरद्यौरिव भूम्ना पृथिवीव वरिम्णा तस्यास्ते पृथिवी देवयजनि पृष्ठे अग्निमन्नादमन्नाद्यायादधे। डाल दीजिए और मेक श्योर कि फायर इज प्रॉपर्ली इन्फ्लेम्ड। बीच में थोड़ी सी घी डाल दीजिए चारों बीच में। ओम उद्बुद्ध स्वाग्नि प्रतिजाग्रहि स्वामिष्टा पूर्ते संसृजे थामयं च अस्मिन् छदस्ते द्युतरस्मिन् विश्वे देवा यजमानश्च सीदत। ओके, अब आपके पास समिधाएं हैं, 3 वुड स्टिक्स। तो एक एक समिधा या वुड स्टिक हाथ में लीजिए और जब मैं स्वाहा बोलूं हवन कुंड में डालें। अगर आप कपल हैं तो एक समिधा को दोनों ही पकड़ लीजिए। ओम अयंत इद्म आत्मा जात वेदस्ते नेध्यस्व वर्धस्व चेद्धवर्धय चास्मान् प्रजया पशुभिर्ब्रह्म वर्चसेनान्नादेन समेधयः स्वाहा इदमग्नये जातवेदसे तन्नमः। सेकेंड वन, ओम समिधाग्निं दुवस्यत घृतेर्बोधयता तिथिम् अस्मिन् हव्याजुहोतन ओम सुसमिद्धाय शोचिषे घृतं तीव्रं जुहोतन अग्नये जातवेदसे स्वाहा इदमग्नये जातवेदसे तन्नमः। The third one, ओम तन्त्वा समिद्भिरङ्गिरो घृतेन वर्धयामसि बृहच्छोचाय विष्ठयः स्वाहा इदमग्नये अंगिरसे तन्नमः। अब चम्मच ले लीजिए, घी की आहुति स्वाहा के साथ आप डालेंगे और मेरे साथ आप सब मिलके स्वाहा बोल सकते हैं। इवन जो दूर भी बैठे हैं वो भी आप मेरे साथ स्वाहा बोल सकते हैं। ओम अयंत इद्म आत्मा जात वेदस्ते नेध्यस्व वर्धस्व चेद्धवर्धय चास्मान् प्रजया पशुभिर्ब्रह्म वर्चसेनान्नादेन समेधय स्वाहा इदमग्नये जातवेदसे तन्नमः। ओम अयंत इद्म आत्मा जात वेदस्ते नेध्यस्व वर्धस्व चेद्धवर्धय चास्मान् प्रजया पशुभिर्ब्रह्म वर्चसेनान्नादेन समेधया स्वाहा इदमग्नये जातवेदसे तन्नमः। ओम अयंत इद्म आत्मा जातवेदस्तेनेध्यस्व वर्धस्व चेद्धवर्धय चास्मान् प्रजया पशुभिर्ब्रह्म वर्चसेनान्नादेन समेधया स्वाहा इदमग्नये जातवेदसेदन्न मम ओम अयंत इद्म आत्मा जातवेदस्तेनेध्यस्व वर्धस्व चेद्धवर्धय स्मान् प्रजया पशुभिर्ब्रह्म वर्चसेनान्नादेन समेधया स्वाहा इदमग्नये जातवेदसेदन्न मम ओम अयंत इद्म आत्मा जातवेदस्तेनेध्यस्व वर्धस्व चेद्धवर्धय चास्मान् प्रजया पशुभिर्ब्रह्म वर्चसेनान्नादेन समेधया स्वाहा इदमग्नये जातवेदसेदन्न मम। ओके, तो अब जो पानी छिड़केंगे चारों डायरेक्शन में, फर्स्ट ईस्ट में, ओम अदितेनुमन्यस्व, हल्की सी डाल दीजिए। ओके, अब वेस्ट में, ओम अनुमतेनुमन्यस्व। अब नॉर्थ में, ओम सरस्वत्यनुमन्यस्व। अब साउथ से लेकर चारों तरफ, ओम देव सविता प्रसुवयज्ञं प्रसुवयज्ञपतिं भगाय दिव्यो गंधर्वः केतपुः केतन्नः पुनातु वाचस्पतिर्वाचं नः स्वदतो। चलिए, अब आप अपना स्पून ले लीजिए घी की आहुति स्वाहा के साथ, और सब मिलके स्वाहा बोलेंगे। जो बैठे हैं बाकी लोग वो भी बोल सकते हैं। ओम अग्नये स्वाहा इदम अग्नये दन्न मम। ओम सोमाय स्वाहा इदम सोमाय इदन्न मम। ओम प्रजापतये स्वाहा इदम प्रजापतये इदन्न मम। ओम इंद्राय स्वाहा इदम इंद्राय इदन्न मम। ओम भूरग्नये स्वाहा इदम अग्नये इदन्न मम। ओम भुवर्वायवे स्वाहा इदं वायवे इदन्न मम। ओम स्वरादित्याय स्वाहा इदमादित्याय इदन्न मम। ओम भूर्भुवः स्वरग्निवायवादित्येभ्यः स्वाहा इदमग्निवायवादित्येभ्यः इदन्न मम। ओम यदस्य कर्मणोऽत्यरीरिचं यद्वा न्यूनमिहाकरम् अग्निष्टस्विष्ट कृत विद्यात् सर्वं स्विष्टं सुहूतं करोतु मे। अग्नये स्विष्ट कृते सुहूतहुते सर्वप्रायश्चिताहुतीनां कामानां समर्धयित्रे सर्वान्नः कामान् समर्धय स्वाहा इदमग्नये स्विष्ट कृते दन्न मम। ओ घी क्या होती ओ स्वाहा इदं प्रजापतये दन्न मम। ओम भूर्भुवः स्वः अग्न आयुंसि पवस आसुवोरुजमिषं च नः आरे बाधस्व दुच्छुनां स्वाहा इदमग्नये पवमानाय दन्न मम। ओम भूर्भुवः स्वः अग्निऋषिः पवमानः पाञ्चजन्यः पुरोहितः तमीमहे महागयं स्वाहा इदमग्नये पवमानाय इदन्न मम। ओम भूर्भुवः स्वः अग्ने पवस्व स्वपा अस्मे वर्चः सुवीर्यं दधत्रयीं मयि पोषं स्वाहा इदमग्नये पवमानाय इदन्न मम। ओम भूर्भुवः स्वः प्रजापतेन त्वदेतान्यन्यो विश्वा जातानि परिता बभूव यत्कामास्ते जुहुमस्तन्नो अस्तु वयं श्यामपतयोरयीणां स्वाहा इदं प्रजापतये दन्न मम। अब घी जो डाल रहे हैं वो घी की आहुति देंगे, बाकी सामग्री की आहुति देंगे स्वाहा के साथ। बाकी सब लोग प्लीज स्वाहा बोलिए, जिससे कि आपका इन्वॉल्वमेंट भी बना रहे दूर बैठे हुए भी। ओम त्वं नो अग्नि वरुणस्य विद्वान् देवस्य हेळवयासि शिष्ठः यजिष्ठो वह्नितमः शोषुचानो विश्वाद्वेषांसि प्रमुमुग्ध्यस्मात् स्वाहा इदमग्निवरुणाभ्यामिदन्न मम ओम सत्वं नो अग्ने अवमो भवोति नेदिष्टो अस्या उषसो विष्टौ अवयक्ष्वनो वरुणं रराणो वीहि मृळिकं सुहवो न एधे स्वाहा इदमग्निवरुणाभ्यामिदन्न मम ओम इमं मे वरुणश्रुधे हवमद्या च मृळय त्वामवस्विरा चके स्वाहा इदं वरुणाय इदन्न मम ओम तत्वायामि ब्रह्मणा वन्दमानस्तदा शास्ते यजमानो हविर्भिः अहेळमानो वरुणेह बुद्धिरुषं समान आयुः प्रमोषिः स्वाहा इदं वरुणाय इदन्न मम ओम ये ते शतं वरुण ये सहस्रं यज्ञः पाशा वितता महन्तः तेभिर्नो अद्य सवितोत विष्णुर्विश्वे मुञ्चन्तु मरुतः स्वर्गाः स्वाहा इदं वरुणाय सवित्रे विष्णवे विश्वेभ्यो देवेभ्यो मरुद्भ्यः सर्केभ्यः इदन्न मम ओम अयाश्चाग्नेशनभिषस्तिपाश्च सत्यमित्वमयासि अयानो यज्ञं वहास्ययानो देहि भेषजं स्वाहा इदमग्नये अयसे इदन्न मम ओम उदुत्तमं वरुणपाशमश्मदवाधमं विमध्यमं श्रथाय अथा वयमादित्यव्रते तवा नागसो अदितये स्याम स्वाहा इदं वरुणायादित्यायादितये च इदन्न मम ओम भवतन्नः समनसौ सचेतसा वरे पसौ मा यज्ञं हिं शिष्टं मा यज्ञपतिं वेदसौ शिवौ भवतमद्यनः स्वाहा इदं जातवेदोभ्याम् इदन्न मम ओम सूर्यो ज्योतिर्ज्योतिः सूर्यः स्वाहा ओम सूर्यो वर्चो ज्योतिर्वर्चः स्वाहा ओम ज्योतिः सूर्यः सूर्यो ज्योतिः स्वाहा ओम सजुर्देवेन सवित्रा सजुरुषसेन्द्रवत्या युषाणः सूर्यो वेतो स्वाहा ओम अग्निर्ज्योतिर्ज्योतिरग्निः स्वाहा ओम अग्निर्वर्चो ज्योतिर्वर्चः स्वाहा ओम स्वाहा ओम सजुर्देवेन सवित्रा सजुरात्रेन्द्रवत्या जुषाणो अग्निर्वेतो स्वाहा ओम भूरग्नये प्राणाय स्वाहा इदमग्नये प्राणाय इदन्न मम ओम भुवर्वायव्यपानाय स्वाहा इदं वायव्यपानाय इदन्न मम ओम स्वरादित्याय व्यानाय स्वाहा इदमादित्याय व्यानाय इदन्न मम ओम भूर्भुवः स्वरग्निवायवादितेभ्यः प्राणापानव्यानेभ्यः इदमग्निवायवादितेभ्यः प्राणापानव्यानेभ्यः इदन्न मम ओम अपो ज्योतिरसोमृतं ब्रह्म भूर्भुवः स्वरो ओम यां मेधां देवगणाः पितरश्च उपासते तयामा मध्य मेधयाग्ने मेधाविनं कुरु स्वाहा ओम विश्वानि देव सवितर्दुरितानि परासुव यद्भद्रं तन्न आसुव स्वाहा ओम अग्नेनाय सुपथा राये अस्मान् विश्वानि देव वयुनानि विद्वान् योयोध्यस्मज्जुहुराणमेनो भूयिष्ठां ते नम उक्तिं विधेम स्वाहा भूर्भुवः स्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् स्वाहा। जैसे कि आज हम आर्य समाज में भारत की गणतंत्र दिवस मीन्स रिपब्लिक डे सेलिब्रेट कर रहे हैं। अल्दो इट वाज ऑन 26 जनवरी, पर आज संडे हम यहाँ सेलिब्रेट कर रहे हैं। तो कुछ विशेष मंत्र भारत की रिपब्लिक डे के उपलक्ष्य में, ये खूबसूरत वेद का मंत्र है। ओम ब्रह्मन् ब्राह्मणो ब्रह्मवर्चसि जायताम राष्ट्रे राजन्यः शूर ईशव्योतिव्याधि महारथो जायताम दोग्ध्रे धेनुर्वोढानड्वानाशुः सप्तिः पुरन्धिर्योषा जिष्णुरथेष्टाः सभेयो युवास्य यजमानस्य वीरो जायताम् निकामे निकामे न पर्जन्यो वर्षतु फलवत्यो न ओषधयः पच्यन्ताम् योगक्षेमो न कल्पताम् स्वाहा। ये यजुर्वेद के 22वें 22nd चैप्टर के 22nd मंत्र है और मंत्र का भाव है वो लॉर्ड सुप्रीम, may our intellectuals, mean the intellectuals of our country, be imbued with highest moral values. May our nation have warriors, brave, skilled in shooting, free from diseases whatsoever, and fierce and undaunted fighters. May the cows of our nation be rich in milk, the oxen good at carrying, the horses swift of speed, and the women full of intelligent and bold. May this householder be blessed with children who desirous of conquest, be always in the forefront, and be well versed in social manners, as well as be youthful. May the cloud bring rain as and when we desire in our nation. May our fruitful harvest ripen. Bestow on us, O God, power of acquisition and preservation of riches. एक ब्यूटीफुल राष्ट्रीय मंत्र है। ओम धृते द्रंघमा मित्रस्य मा चक्षुषा सर्वाणि भूतानि समीक्षन्ताम् मित्रस्याहं चक्षुषा सर्वाणि भूतानि समीक्षे मित्रस्य चक्षुषा समीक्षामहे स्वाहा। O God, make me and my nation firm in times of distress. May all the living beings see me with an amiable eye. May I see all the living beings with a friendly eye. Thus may we all see each other with a friendly eye. Om abhayam mitra dabhayam amitra dabhayam jnata dabhayam parokshat abhayam naktam abhayam divanah sarva asha mama mitram bhavantu swaha. May there be no fear from a friend, no fear from a foe. May there be no fear from one known to us, and no fear from the unknown one me. May there be no fear at night, no fear in the day for us. May all the regions be friendly to me. Om anamitram no adharadanamitram na uttarat indradanamitram na paschadanamitram puraskridhe swaha. May there be foilessness for us from below, foilessness for us from above. O resplendent God, may you make us enmiless from behind as well as enmiless from the front. Om madhubatarithayate madhuksharanti sindhavah madhyurna santu oshadhihi swaha. O God, may the breaths of wind be sweet for our nation. May the flows of river be sweet. May the herbs be full of sweetness for us. Om madhunaktamuto shasho madhumat parthivam rajah madhudyavrastu nah pita swaha. May the night be sweet and so is the dawn. May the earth and heaven be sweet for us. Om madhumanno vanaspatir madhumastu suryah madhurgavo bhavantu nah swaha. May the plants be sweet for us and so is the sun. May the rays of sun also be sweet for us. अब गायत्री मंत्र। ओम भूर्भुवः स्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् स्वाहा। ओम भूर्भुवः स्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् स्वाहा। ओम भूर्भुवः स्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। पूर्णाहुति। ओम सर्वं वै पूर्णं स्वाहा। ओम सर्वं वै पूर्णं स्वाहा। ओम सर्वं वै पूर्णं स्वाहा। With this, so now the Havan is concluded. Please join with Smriti ji for this prayer and bhajan.
Wait. Stop. पूजनीय प्रभो हमारे भाव उज्ज्वल कीजिए, छोड़ देवे छल कपट को, मानसिक बल दीजिए। वेद की गाएं ऋचाएं सत्य को धारण करें, हर्ष में हो मग्न साए, शोक सागर से तोए। अश्वमेधादि रचाएं यज पर उपकार हो, धर्म मर्यादा चलाकर लाभ दे संसार को। नित्य श्रद्धा भक्ति से यज्ञादि हम करते रहें, रोग पीड़ित विश्व के संताप सब हरते रहें। भावना मिट जाए मन से, पाप अत्याचार की कामनाएं पूर्ण होए, यज्ञ से नर नार की लाभकारी हो हवन हर जीवधारी के लिए। वायु जल सर्वत्र हो शुभ, गंध को धारण किए। स्वार्थ भाव के हमारा प्रेम पथ विस्तार हो, कीर्तन मामा का सार्थक प्रत्येक में व्यवहार हो। प्रेम रस में मग्न होकर वंदना हम कर रहे, नाथ करुणा रूप करुणा आपकी सब पर रहे। पूजनीय प्रभु हमारे भाव उज्ज्वल कीजिए, छोड़ देवे छल कपट को, मानसिक बल दीजिए। प्रभु आत्मिक बल दीजिए, आध्यात्मिक बल
और आप एक दूसरे के लिए और जो आज यज्ञ में आहुति दे रहे हैं उनके लिए प्रभु से प्रार्थना करेंगे, प्रभु के आशीर्वाद के लिए। तो मेरे साथ मिल करके बोलिए, ओम यूयम जीवत शरदः शतं वर्धमानः यूयम् आयुष्मन्तः वर्चस्विनः तेजस्विनः श्रीमन्तः भूयासः. It means, O God, may all of you enjoy a life of 100 years, always progressing with full of wisdom, virtue, strength, vitality and prosperity. May welfare come to you and may God bless you. ओम स्वस्ति न इंद्रो वृद्धस्रवाः स्वस्ति न पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्टनेमि स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु. ओम स्वस्ति ओम स्वस्ति ओम स्वस्ति. थैंक यू वेरी मच. अब आप उठ सकते हैं. एक स्मृति जी की भजन से पहले, आज भजन के बाद जो प्रवचन है, लेक्चर है, हमारे बीच में गेस्ट स्पीकर होंगे डॉक्टर सी राजन नारायणन, और वो स्पिरिचुअलिटी और हीलिंग ऑफ योगा से, अर्थात स्पिरिचुअलिटी की प्रैक्टिस करने से और योग की जो हीलिंग एबिलिटी है उससे कैसे हम अपने आप को स्वस्थ रख सकते हैं, उस पर आप सुनेंगे. इट्स ए वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग टॉपिक एंड डे टू डे लाइफ में आपके काम की चीजें. तो भजन के बाद आप राजन जी के लेक्चर सुनेंगे. थैंक यू वेरी मच. आप स्मृति.
ओम. सभी को सादर अभिवादन. हमारे भारतीय गणतंत्र दिवस की सभी को बहुत बहुत शुभकामनाएं. और तो वो 3 दिन पहले हो चुका, पर हम लोग हमेशा जो भी क्लोजेस्ट संडे होता है रविवार, उस दिन सेलिब्रेट करते हैं. तो आज भजन की जगह मैं कुछ आपके सामने देशभक्ति के गाने प्रस्तुत करूंगी. आप लोग बैठ जाइए. 1-2 लोग हेल्प कर सकते हैं, बाकी आप लोग बैठ जाइए बिकॉज इट डिस्टर्ब्स अ लॉट इन द फ्रंट. प्लीज, थैंक यू सो मच. पहला गीत बहुत ही प्यारा गीत है. ऐ मेरे प्यारे वतन, है मेरे बिछड़े चमन, तुझ पे दिल कुर्बान. हम सारे लोग इस गीत से कनेक्ट हो जाते हैं, इसके एक एक शब्द से. ऐ मेरे प्यारे वतन, ऐ मेरे बिछड़े चमन, तुझ पे दिल कुर्बान. तू ही मेरी आरज़ू, तू ही मेरी आबरू, तू ही मेरी जान. आप लोग जरूर गाइए मेरे साथ में, बीट पे ताली बजाइए. और अगर मैं कहीं इमोशनल हो जाऊं तो मुझे माफ कर दीजिएगा. ऐ मेरे प्यारे वतन, ऐ मेरे बिछड़े चमन, तुझ पे दिल कुर्बान. तू ही मेरी आरज़ू, तू ही मेरी आबरू, तू ही मेरी शान. चल से जो आए उन हवाओं को सलाम. तेरे सलाम चूम लूं मैं उस जुबान को जिस पे आए तेरा नाम। सबसे प्यारी सुबह तेरी, सबसे रंगीन तेरी शाम, तुझ पे दिल कुर्बान। तू ही मेरी आरज़ू, तू ही मेरी आबरू, तू ही मेरी शान। माँ का दिल बन के कभी सीने से लग जाता है तू। माँ का दिल बन के कभी सीने से लग जाता है तू। और कभी नन्ही सी बेटी बन के याद आता है तू। जितना याद आता है मुझको उतना तड़पाता है तू। तुझ पे दिल कुर्बान। तू ही मेरी आरज़ू, तू ही मेरी आबरू, तू ही मेरी शान। छोड़ कर तेरी ज़मीं को दूर आ पहुँचे हैं हम। छोड़ कर तेरी ज़मीं को दूर आ पहुँचे हैं हम। फिर भी है यही तमन्ना तेरे ज़र्रों की कसम। हम जहाँ पैदा हुए उस जगह ही निकले दम। तुझ पे दिल कुर्बान। तू ही मेरी आरज़ू, तू ही मेरी आबरू, तू ही मेरी जान, तू ही मेरी जान, तू ही मेरी आन। मेरी आवाज़ अभी भी साथ नहीं दे रही है, पर मुझे पता है आप लोग मुझे जज नहीं करेंगे। बहुत प्यारा गीत है प्रीत जहाँ की रीत सदा, मैं गीत वहाँ के गाता हूँ। भारत का रहने वाला हूँ, भारत की बात सुनाता हूँ। हम सभी को ये बहुत अच्छे से पता है, चाहे हम फर्स्ट जनरेशन है या सेकंड या थर्ड, शायद ही कोई यहाँ थर्ड जनरेशन वाला होगा। हमारी पहचान तो भारतीय ही है। हम कहीं भी चले जाएं, हमारा चेहरा जो है वो हमें भारतीय बना के ही रखता है। सो दिल से हम भारतीय रहने वाले हैं। इस गीत में आप सब लोग शायद फेमिलियर होंगे, कुछ नहीं भी हो सकते। पहले कुछ कविता की पंक्तियां हैं, उनसे शुरू करती हूँ। जब जीरो दिया मेरे भारत ने, भारत ने, मेरे भारत ने जब जीरो दिया, मेरे भारत ने, मेरे भारत ने, मेरे भारत ने दुनिया को तब गिनती आई। तारों की भाषा भारत ने दुनिया को पहले सिखलाई। देता ना दशमलव भारत तो यूं चांद पे जाना मुश्किल था। धरती और चांद की दूरी का अंदाजा लगाना मुश्किल था। सभ्यता जहाँ पहले आई, सभ्यता जहाँ पहले आई, पहले जन्मी है जहाँ पे कला। अपना भारत वो भारत है, अपना भारत वो भारत है जिसके पीछे संसार चला, संसार चला और आगे बढ़ा, यूं आगे बढ़ा, बढ़ता ही गया। भगवान करे और बढ़े, भगवान करे और बढ़े, बढ़ता ही रहे और फूले फले, बढ़ता ही रहे और फूले फले, बढ़ता ही रहे और फूले फले। गुनगुनाइए। है प्रीत जहाँ की रीत सदा, है प्रीत जहाँ की रीत सदा, मैं गीत वहाँ के गाता हूँ। भारत का रहने वाला हूँ, भारत की बात सुनाता हूँ। भारत का रहने वाला हूँ, भारत की बात सुनाता हूँ। है प्रीत जहाँ की रीत सदा, है प्रीत जहाँ की रीत सदा, मैं गीत वहाँ के गाता हूँ। भारत का रहने वाला हूँ, भारत की बात सुनाता हूँ। भारत का रहने वाला हूँ, भारत की बात सुनाता हूँ। है प्रीत जहाँ की रीत सदा, काले गोरे का भेद नहीं, काले गोरे का भेद नहीं, हर दिल से हमारा नाता है। ओ, कुछ और नाता हो हमको, हमें प्यार निभाना आता है। जिसे मान चुकी सारी दुनिया हो, जिसे मान चुकी सारी दुनिया, मैं बात वही दोहराता हूँ। भारत का रहने वाला हूँ, भारत की बात सुना, गाइए। भारत का रहने वाला हूँ, भारत की बात सुनाता हूँ। है प्रीत जहाँ की रीत सदा, जीते हो किसी ने देश तो क्या, जीते हो किसी ने देश तो क्या, हमने तो दिलों को जीता है। ओ, जहाँ राम अभी तक है नर में, जहाँ राम अभी तक है नर में, नारी में अभी रहने वाला हूँ, भारत की बात सुनाता हूँ, भारत का रहने वाला हूँ, भारत की बात सुनाता हूँ। है प्रीत जहाँ की रीत सदा, इतनी ममता नदियों को भी, इतनी ममता नदियों को भी जहाँ माता कह के बुलाते हैं। ओ, इतना आदर इंसान तो क्या, इतना आदर इंसान तो क्या, पत्थर भी पूजे जाते हैं। ओ, इतनी ममता नदियों को भी जहाँ माता कह के बुलाते हैं। ओ, इतना आदर इंसान तो क्या, पत्थर भी पूजे जाते हैं। ओ, उस धरती पे मैंने जन्म लिया, उस धरती पे मैंने जन्म लिया, ये सोच के मैं इतराता हूँ, भारत का रहने वाला हूँ, भारत की बात सुनाता हूँ, भारत का रहने वाला हूँ, भारत की बात सुनाता हूँ। है प्रीत जहाँ की रीत सदा, है प्रीत जहाँ की रीत सदा, मैं गीत वहाँ के गाता हूँ, भारत का रहने वाला हूँ, भारत की बात सुनाता हूँ, भारत का रहने वाला हूँ, भारत की बात सुनाता हूँ, भारत का रहने वाला हूँ, भारत की बात सुनाता हूँ।
नमस्ते एवरीबॉडी। स्मृति जी, राजा जी, आपका स्टूडेंट, धन्यवाद। बड़े अच्छे देशभक्ति के गीत सुनाए। एक बार जोर से ताली करके बच्चे का भी प्रोत्साहन बढ़ाइए। थैंक यू। Today's program, I welcome you all, and I see a lot of people already joined at Zoom, and I haven't checked YouTube. So it's going to be a very special presentation, and we always try to bring you Health is Wealth series. So this is the beginning in this year, and beginning after COVID. So I'm very pleased to announce we have amongst us Dr. Rajan Narayanan. He is nobody new to RS March Greater Houston. Those of you attended his sessions before, some of you are taking therapy from him and consultation from him. So he's the executive director of Life and Yoga Institute and the chair of the board of the institute since 2002, since last year. He's been spiritual guide and a trainer of yoga teachers and therapists, and he's conducted many training events since 1998. So the expertise goes a long time. He's received recognition from major yoga institutions in India. He's developed a system of measured yoga therapy, MYT, whose essential approach is published as Bioenergy and its implication for yoga therapy, available at the website of National Library of Medicine. His main area of research interest is scientific understanding of institution and tantra aspects. So he's going to be talking to us about spirituality and healing aspects of yoga. Also, he didn't put that in the introduction, but for many, he's available for personal consultations, even while remotely through certain testing locally and moving from there. And you can meet him afterwards. So let me invite Dr. Rajan Narayanan to the podium. Thank you.
Namaste, everyone. Is it coming through?
share your screen.
Namaste, everyone. Is it coming through you here, right? Yes, thank you.
Yeah, there we go. Yes.
Okay, so we have about 10 minutes before 11 o'clock. So because many people have been told that they can join us at 11 o'clock, we will have a conversation over here that will lead to the presentation in a few minutes. So first conversation I want to ask you is, all of you were doing the Havan earlier, or some of you were doing the Havan earlier over here today. So what is your belief about the Havan? When you do that, what happens? Where does it go? Any thoughts on that? Anybody? Yes, go ahead, please. Okay.
Purifies the environment.
The environment. When people leave their body, where do they go? Air. Actually, this is very interesting. You know, after all, Arya Samaj adheres to the Vedas, right? So in the Vedic concept, there is something called Dahar Akash. Anybody heard of that term, Dahar Akash? You have. What is the, oh, okay, Hemaji is over here, obviously, yes. Anybody else? No. Okay. The Dahar Akash is a concept of a space that permeates through the smallest particle. So whatever is the smallest particle, you can think in terms of, that is the pathway to the Dahar Akash. Now, once we get into the, the Vedic philosophy is completely equivalent to yogic philosophy. They're no different. And they're in the ancient Indian system, they will say there are 4 ancient philosophies, 4 darshan. Those are not 4, 6 darshan. They're all part of the same Vedic understanding. Actually, 5 more beyond the Vedanta philosophy, which comes from the Veds, right? So the 5 others are called, the first is called the Sankhya philosophy, the oldest of Kapil Muni. And then after that comes the Nyaya Vaisheshika. And then 4th comes the Mimamsa, which is the predecessor of the Vedanta and all of that. And then comes the Yoga philosophy, these 5 before the Vedantic philosophy. So within these philosophies, particularly in Sankhya philosophy, there is a concept of how creation comes. And the concept of creation, I know Hemaji has read the Vivek Chudamani. Is there anybody else here who has gone to the Vivek Chudamani? Okay, some of you have. Okay. Now, this is a composition of Shankaracharya. So within this, the Sankhya philosophy, the way it explains is, out of Ishwar, who is Nirgun, sabke bahar hai, something is the entity that is outside everything, all of creation, from where the first energy comes out to create. The first energy that comes out to create, in different systems, they call it different names. In Sankhya and Yoga, it is called as Prakriti. Whereas in the religious system, you call it as Durga Mata, you call it as Shakti, Parashakti, as you use these words. Then, of course, that once it comes out, as the Sankhya philosophy says, it first creates a cosmic processor. What is the concept of a processor? Aapke computer mein, you have this little board over there, the processor board. So whatever programs you run through it, it feeds in the input and the output comes, and that's displayed for you on the screen, right? So a processor has no intention of its own. It only takes input and produces output. So the cosmic processor in the Sankhya philosophy is called Vasudev. And that cosmic processor gets the input or the program from Prakriti or Durga Mata, whichever way in which you say Shakti. That creates many, many small processors, like each one of us, including inanimate items. All of them are called Chit. Chit is the word that is used for any processor. So the cosmic Chit is called Vasudev, and everything, all other Chits are each one of us, as well as inanimate beings. But sentient human beings, sentient beings have, besides Chit, they also have Chetna. And the way in which Yoga Sutra explains is, Chetna is direct connection to the source of everything. Of Ishwar kahe ya jis bhasha mein kahe, whatever. And that is different from Prakriti. Now, all of this is in a space. Prakriti and this creation of different processors are in a different plane. They are in a fourth dimension. They are not in the billions of galaxies and everything that we can experience. From there, a projection comes down, and literally speaking, each one of us and everything around, in a cosmic sense, is like the computer and processor is sitting in a fourth dimension. And from there, the button is pressed over there, and that computer program wirelessly goes to the printer, and the printer is the physical world. And so it prints out on the piece of paper whatever it's writing, and each one of us are simply like the words written on paper. So we are all basically cosmic peripherals, by just this thing. So that is the idea that comes through. So what happens is, when we do Havan, when we do anything where we connect, the first place we connect is outside the three-dimension physical world. In the physical world, everything we see physically is there, but there is also the kind of electromagnetic frequency vibration, how our mobile phone and things operate. But the existence from before we were born, when we leave the body or whatever, they are all outside these three dimensions. It is only the physical body of particles that is, whether you cremate or bury, whichever religion, whatever people do, that's the part. But what happens is, whatever is that life force in there, jo pran kehte hain, that life force, a doctor can make your lungs, heart, everything work. They have this machine called the ECMO machine, heart-lung machine, where they can keep everything functioning and all the cells are nourished. Everything is, you can technically call it as alive. But if you pull out of the machine, the person does not have ability to breathe and live. And the person never wakes up. The person is unconscious, like in a coma kind of state. So the thing is, you see, the concept of life and where things are in a different dimension. So when we look at health, if we look at health like the way modern doctors do, they're always trying to fix your body parts. You see, I'm going to quote one of our, yoga doctors whom you have met over here. He's a good friend of Shekhar Agarwal. That is Dr. Dilip Sarkar. Many of you might have had the opportunity to hear, right? So he was telling me a story. Once when he was presenting to doctors, he himself being a doctor, and he was saying that, when people get cancer and things like that, how with yoga and things you can consider, working around, reversing it and things like that. So one doctor in the room said, "Hey, Dr. Sarkar, you yourself are a physician, and you know what cancer does to an organ. If you go and look at the cancer cells or any organ that's affected, you know what it looks like. The only way is you have to cut it and throw it out. You can't have this thing. How can it cure itself?" So and that doctor was pretty angry that you, Dr. Sarkar, as a physician, you're saying all of this can be reversed and all of these things. So Dr. Sarkar responded. For a moment, he was taken aback because somebody who an angry doctor, facing him like that. So he asked him a simple question. Where did the cancer come from? Was it there already in your body? It came from somewhere. So wherever it comes from, let it go back there, right? So the thing is, you see, we need to look at it from that perspective, that whatever we see in the physical world is coming from the fourth and fifth dimension outside the world, the concept of prana. It is only the body with cells and the matter which stays in the physical world. But whatever is the life energy or whoever we are is of a different dimension. So you can think about this. And I have a little box over here. And this box contains, people will think of it as a magic box, but it is not a magic box. It is based on physical sciences concept. It is scientific. And in this box, I can show you, it's 11 o'clock, right? So we can now begin. In this box, if you want to see, all it is a little wooden box, some with wires in it. And when we connect this box to our system, and inside this box, we take like hair samples or anything DNA, even a picture will work. You put it into this box. And then if you look into the box, there is something called a scalar wave generator. And through this, the person can be anywhere. The person can be in India, anywhere. Remotely, we can scan the person right to the DNA level and organ level, DNA level, cellular level, subcellular level. We can scan everything and know what is wrong, and we can heal. Now we have here Devji, whom all of you know. Just some time back, and Devji just told me yesterday, what happened was he was telling me that when he goes walking, normally he walks for 45 minutes. When he was walking, after 10 minutes, he will feel like pain coming on, getting tired, that kind of thing. So what we did was we scanned his thing. And when we looked in, we said, Devji, there is something not right in your respiratory system. And we saw the lymphatic system was also showing as not right. So I asked him whether you have fluid or something in the system. So Devji said, no, I'm perfectly okay. I'm feeling fine. And then when just yesterday, he told me that after I had told him that, when he had his checkup with the doctor, his doctor became very concerned because he had fluid in his lungs. And so he told me the machine was absolutely right. And where was I when I looked at it? I was in Maryland. And all that he had done was, he had sent me some of his hair and nail clipping samples. And through this box, I was telling him, this is your problem, right? So this appears like a magic box, but it is not magic. It is scientific. It is something called work based on scalar waves. So, and what happens is when you do your havan, when you think in terms of spiritual elements, this is the place where from you begin. So I want you to think in terms of scientific terms. If you think in terms of the Sanatana Dharma tradition, everything we are doing through Vedic system, pretty much all of it is scientific. It's not just, belief system. But what happens when you don't understand something, you make it into a belief system. But it is all pretty much scientific. So with that as the introduction, I guess we may have people who have come on to the Zoom. Do we need to unmute it in Zoom? No, here it says muted. Oh, it is going through, so that's okay. Okay.
Not for others.
Okay.
Here is going through the system.
Okay. Okay, it is on full screen, right? Oh, there. Okay. Okay. So as the topic says today, health, spiritual existence, and healing. So that's what we are going to talk about. So you can understand the difference between what you get from the allopathic medical system, what you get from Ayurveda, Chinese medicine, all of these, what you call as traditional medicine system, and what happens when you go through spiritual healing like this. And in fact, spiritual healing is nothing new. How many of you here have been involved in praying for somebody's health? There, all of you here. So basically, when you pray for somebody's health, there is something happening. And in most cases, it'll work. There may be some cases it may not work. Okay? But why is it works and why doesn't it work? We can tell you. And even this spiritual healing, in most cases, it will work. In some cases, it will not work. And why will it not work? Because that's not part of the cosmic flow which comes from the higher dimension. So we can, in today's presentation, as you can see over here, the first thing we look about is what is the nature of our health as is understood from our modern understanding of science of health. This is something from the Minnesota Department of Health. They say that 40% contributory factor of everything we do is in the socioeconomic factors. And what do they mean by socioeconomic factors? Actually, I'll go to the next screen, you can see. It is really the kind of money, spending habits, occupation, family, friends, social activities. These are all part of it. In other words, if you are going to be a person who does not have enough money and you have worries about it, you can never be healthy. So, but on the other hand, no matter how much you have, you're craving for more and more money, you can never be healthy. Okay? So what happens is, the key part is there should be pacification or harmony in all these activities. In other words, your spending habits, if you're going and spending more, you always need more money. Okay? And what happens is we live in a society that is so affluent that after a point in time, you don't know what to do with your money. And if it's a Bill Gates, he will buy a yacht or build a $100 million home or whatever. And how far can you go? Even if you're the richest man in the world, you may have a golden plate or cups to eat off, but on the other hand, you're going to eat the same sabji and dal, right? So the thing is basically, this is the part where all of these things fall in. And in affluent societies, what happens? The advertising world and people who are seeking to make money can put messages into your head to say, hey, alcohol is a cool thing to have. And, it's a cool thing to smoke. So all of these they are sending you, which have no value for you. They can only do damage to your health. Okay. So this is the place where the family, friends you keep, the good company you keep. If you go to bad company, it will only lead you there. So that is how you have this nice Satsang Samaj. That's 40% of it contributes to your health. Then if you look at health behaviors, what are they? 30%. That is right kind of exercising, sleep, and nutrition. That is the 30%. And then after that, you see the physical environment, that is making sure you live in a home that is enough light, good airflow, and it doesn't have mold and various other this thing. So a place that is clean and nice where you can live. All of these things are contributory factors, as you can see, not getting polluted. And then another 10% and 10% you see is the genes and biology, what you have hereditarily got, and then clinical care, that is making sure you get your vaccine shots or whatever else, and that kind of health behavior. So this what puts in. You can see over here, 80% of what you do is fully in your control according to modern medicine. This is according to modern medicine. But what do we say? According to our yogic and philosophical, our spiritual perspective, that 10% relates to genes and biology. We say we can modify it. In the sense, the genes are there, but genes don't affect until they are activated. So today there is something called gene expression. We don't let the gene express, the bad gene express. So that we can do by lifestyle. And then in the case of clinical care, there is a very famous doctor who has, I believe he got Padma Bhushan or Padma Vibhushan from India. And many of you know that in the hierarchy of the order, the lowest honor is Padma Shri. After that comes Padma Bhushan, then Padma Vibhushan, and then Bharat Ratna, right? So he very highly recognized doctor. His name is Dr. B.N. Hegde. He used to be the head of Manipal Medical University. When he comes to the US, all the top medical schools invite him to be a guest lecturer. So very famous man. And this man basically said, unless you have a health problem where you feel there is discomfort within you, don't go to a doctor. He said, if you go to a doctor, they'll find faults that are of no relevance to you. And the thing is basically, in a clinical care, of course, we have to use the doctors we have with complete understanding of what is being done to you. If you tell the doctor, oh, you're the expert, do whatever you want, you will get into trouble, guaranteed, sometime during the lifetime. So the thing is, basically, I was in Dallas, Texas the other day. What happened is a person was getting migraine headache often. They tried everything, it was not going. So what this lady, the doctor advised, it is because your uterus and the hormones that are created is the problem. So if we do a total hysterectomy, the migraine will go away. So they did that. And while they were doing it, we don't know what happened over there. The doctor came and spoke to the husband. We think we should take out her gallbladder too. So they took out the gallbladder too. And after that was done, that lady, if she eats anything, that's what this friend says, it shoots like a bullet and comes out to the other end. So she cannot hold anything within digestive system. So what happens is, when we work with the modern medicine system, you have to take primary responsibility for your health. And we have to always remember, modern medicine is an empirical science and not an exact science. It is empirical science, means there is statistical correlation, something will help, which means many people can be helped by it. However, there will be some people for whom if you do the same thing, it won't have the effect, or it may even have negative effect. So what it is it has to be done with caution, with understanding. All of you are very educated people, so you approach it in that way. So much for clinical care. If I go on like this, I'll exceed my time, but let me pick up a little bit over here. So we see that 80% of the health relating to your social factors and your health behavior and your own physical environment, all of this, what are the key elements that go with it? The most important element is your thoughts. Why? Thoughts make you who you are. If you are a person who is harmonious, peaceful within, your thoughts will guide your action. And what kind of action? All your actions will be harmonious. And how do we work actions? We say, अपना स्वधर्म करने के लिए आपको कहीं खोजना नहीं है. स्वधर्म आपके सामने आकर खड़ा हो जाती. All you have to do is, you have to engage with what is coming in front of you and fulfill the duty. You don't have to go looking, I have to do. You don't have to do anything. Everything is coming to you. So once our thoughts are consistent with life purpose, we are non-reactive, everything flows on its own. Actions flow from the thought. And so that is the right understanding of life that governs us. We are all born for our swadharma. And that's why the often quoted phrase, dharmo rakshati rakshitaha, right? So the thing is, basically, what are the questions that come from here? How do you figure out what is the right thought and action for you? And the second question is, how about the remaining 20%, that is the clinical care and the gene element? How do you deal with it when you get into trouble? That is the part where I have kind of already given you the answer. But how do you figure out what is the right thought and action? This is a question many of you have here, right? The key part is learning to build meditative awareness within you. In fact, what happens is, all of you follow the Gayatri mantra over here, right? And the Gayatri mantra is considered one of the best meditation mantras that is commonly available to everyone. It's not an individualized mantra, but it's a kind of a mantra where you have to understand the meaning. In fact, in the Vedic system, there are two types of mantras. One type of mantras is pure vibration. Second type of mantra is affirmation. So Gayatri mantra is an affirmation. So as long as you're doing that and you keep the calmness within and the focus, that calmness within will automatically allow you to understand what you should be doing. Your inner guidance will be active. So that is how you figure out what is right for you. So but then to understand what is right for you and why all of this, you'll have more questions. For this, we need to understand what is life and what is the nature of cosmic existence. So whether from our Vedic system and from all the 6 ancient philosophies, what we learn is it all starts from God, by whatever name you call it, Ishwar, whatever name you would like to call. And from there, the first creation is Prakriti, as I was saying, and Prakriti creates the first cosmic processor. And the first cosmic processor is that, and the cosmic chitta. And Prakriti runs the program through the cosmic processor, and that ends up creating all these little processes that I was mentioning, each being assigned some part of the program to work through. And each one of us are programs like that, and including everything else in Earth that we, in our in existence that we see. And all of this is in the subtle plane. And from that subtle plane, each individual manifests in the form of vibration coming into the physical world. And that vibration going into the physical body is what makes you who you are. And this is in our three-dimensional world. Vibrations are in the nature of electromagnetic frequency, and this is our physical body. And this is the three-dimensional world. But there is a big difference between, this is the case with everything animate or inanimate. But animate beings, sentient beings, there is one additional connection, and that is each one of us have direct connection to Ishwar, even while we are connected here. So this is where we say, once you're purified, in other words, you have less karma klesh to work through, then in which case, this is the one that is active. And this is the link that gives you supreme knowledge of the cosmos. So, Gyan ki srota yahi hai, aur ye hai karm ki srota. So that is the difference between the two, right? So, so if we look in terms of how different medical systems, how different medical models operate within us, you have the physiological model of the modern medicine, you have the traditional medicine model, and you have the spiritual yogic model of the havan that you do, the box over here, and all of that, the power of prayer and all of that. So the physiological model, as you can see over here, is you're fully focused on the material elements of the body, the anatomical aspects, scanning, biochemical status. That's what your doctor would do. And what is their view of yogic impact of health? You go to any doctor, they will say, yoga gives you deep relaxation within, and that deep relaxation within will cure a number of your problems. So learn to have deep relaxation. That is the yogic understanding from a modern medicine perspective, doctors. They do not understand the higher dimension, and these days many of them are looking at the traditional medicine model. And the traditional medicine model, it's all about vibrations. And how do they measure vibrations? If you go to an Ayurvedic doctor, they'll put their 3 fingers like this, and they say, "Aapka nadi ka parikshan kar rahe," right? So the thing is, basically, all that is happening is they're looking at the vibration that is coming, as I showed in the previous diagram, from the second level down into the physical level, the electromagnetic vibration that's coming. And those of you who have seen it before with Hemaji and others over here, and of course Sushmaji has one too, is that you have the this machine we have where you can put your finger into an electromagnetic field, and that is the same equivalent as measuring with 3 fingers. But only thing is, it parses out and the program gives you which organ systems are depleted, where you need to supplement and all of that, right? Now, the yogic healing side, and of course in that one we also use mantras, the traditional medicine model mantras and all of that. Whereas in the higher yogic model, even beyond, by the way, all of them I'm only talking about yogic aspect. Yogic aspect from physiological perspective, yogic aspect from a traditional medicine perspective, and a yogic aspect from the even higher perspective. Third aspect is this machine. And this machine is called Metatron. Actually, it's not this alone. I only showed one part of it. The rest of it will all be with Sushmaji over here. So Sushmaji and Devji can give you a full demo if you want. They'll have the machine even after I'm gone. So this machine is the one where it's the equivalent of the power of blessings and prayer. Those who do prayer for somebody and things, all of that works right for that. So this gives you the various aspects, understanding yoga as a very narrow thing, physical relaxation, or something that is vibration with mantra, being happy in your mind, whatever. And then the higher element where you are able to appreciate from the higher realms how these are happening, the zone from where you were born and the zone where you go if you are going to have rebirth, all of that is in that zone. So again, the physiological model of health is general healing, deep de-stressing, deep relaxation, body heals itself. By the way, even in this machine, it is a question of it is the cosmos that heals. It is nature that heals. We don't do the healing even with this machine. What do? We only establish your cosmic connection for that organ so that it is the cosmic wisdom that heals. If the cosmic wisdom says you are not meant to be healed, no matter how much we do with this machine, you will not get healed. All right? So that's the same idea. All wise doctors, even in physiology, will tell you the doctor only stabilizes the patient. It is the nature that heals the patient. If you speak to many wise doctors, that's what they will tell you. A second approach in yogic healing from a physiological perspective is directed healing. Many people will say, and some of you may have experienced, if you have snoring or sleep apnea, if you do Ujjayi pranayam, many people will get benefit from it, right? So that is a directed healing from a physiological perspective. But from physiological perspective, there is no sense of a meaning of life, what life is. Whereas on the other hand, when you get into the traditional medicine model, it is of course body's vibration based. There is a sense of what life is. There is a concept of the natural state of Prakriti and how your mind deviates and then you become ill because of all the wrong vibrations going into. And that is ill health is the source of deviating from the natural state. And it is generally in the Ayurvedic sense, they will talk about the three kinds of flows within the Vata, Pitta, Kapha, and each one of you are in a certain level of the way you are made. If you're in sync with your Prakriti, your balance of Vata, Pitta, Kapha is perfect order. When you deviate, you get ill health. And so as a result of it, the recommendation that comes from a traditional medicine approach is your lifestyle must be in proper harmony. Your lifestyle approach is what governs your health management. And they do have a spiritual view of life, but no healing of the spirit directly from the higher space. And that is what this enables us. And of course, you're aware of the 5 types of communications that happen in the body from the Ayurvedic perspective: prana, apana, vyana, udana, and samana, right? And then, of course, this is the Ayurvedic model of where the nadis are running. You have the slide over here. It's a little complicated. In the interest of time, I'll move along. So the higher model of Tantra is, you can understand, we are healing at this level. We are in this zone B of the subtle created is where we are dealing with. So here we are going, when we heal this over here, we have to understand that if the cosmic chitta and Prakriti decide, we are not going to heal you because it's against the cosmic flow, dharma ke viruddh hai, right? Then in which case you will not get healed. And that is why everybody cannot be healed from here. But 9 out of 10 cases, there will be no problem with healing. And I'll give you a few examples of healing and how well this matches over here. Like I gave you the example of Devji, it indicated that there was respiratory this thing, and then of course I told him fluid in this thing, and he found that was the case when they examined. In fact, the doctor got very worried that there was fluid in the chest. Now, I'll give you another example. Yesterday, somebody came to us, and this person had hearing issues and loss of hearing. So we can, as I told you, in the system, we can actually select 947 items you can go and select and scan and restore in the body. And what are these 947 elements? It goes from organ level down to parts of organ, down to the cells, into the subcellular level. It goes into your chromosome and your DNA. We can look at all of that through this system. There is no other system in the world whereby just by doing a scan, you can look at all of them in one shot. Okay? So the thing is, you see, what happened was we can actually look at different parts of the ear, the inner ear, the labyrinth over there, the gyro, everything you can look at inside the ear. So for this man, what we did was we said, okay, let's look at your ear and let's see if we can do some healing for you. So the moment we went over there, the healing was not very effective. But one thing I did not do was, I did not do the general scan to go and assess where the problem was. So I said, let's do that. So when we went and did the general scan, we found that there was no problem with the ear at all. Everything emanated from the throat, the laryngitis, and all of that. So I asked him, do you have any throat issues? He said, I have no throat issues. So that connected. You know, many of you understand the ENT concept. The throat chakra is connected to all of this. So what I said is, let's go and heal your throat. It showed that the throat was not right. We have the ability to heal. Once we heal the throat, we found we could actually heal the ear. Okay? So what happens is, what is the root cause? We are able to, like for Devji's case, we were able to identify. He had fluid in his chest, which he didn't know himself. As similarly, this is the way we can do with this kind of machine. And why? We are reading you at this level, not at this level as in traditional medicine, not at this level as in the modern physiological approach of medicine. So what does this machine look like? There is this machine over here. This gets hooked on to this little box that I showed you over here. And then it is through that, and this box is attached to your computer, where you can read the whole, scan the system and read over there. This is a case of a person who is 76 years old, who had various issues over here. I'll just move along a little fast so that you have time for questions. But this person had atherosclerosis, blood vessels were very narrow, all of these things. So when the system reported this, what it said were the major problem that we could see over there. Then what happened was we started healing him through the system. So in the month of September, this is how the perfusion of blood in the brain was looking. And this person used to get always heaviness in the head. And after working with him for 6 weeks, here it is, the blood perfusion, how all of that have changed. You can see the difference. Similarly, the capillaries in the body were, after all, atherosclerosis means tightening or narrowing or hardening of all the blood vessels, right? This is the way it was looking for him before. And after doing 6 weeks, this is what it was looking like. You can see. This is the trachea over here, the throat area. And this is how you can see all the black spots, right? So all the black spots went away. They are all communicating better. The system actually goes and examines each part. In multiple places, it goes and scans. But remember, it is not scanning your physical body. It is actually scanning the ethereal body, which is in that zone B, Prakriti zone. And this is the case of the bronchial tree. As you can see, the breath and things were not flowing very well. After healing for so many of this thing, you can see how all of that opened up. Now, as I said again, the conclusive view of our yogic healing is, this is the way the modern medicine heals, this is where traditional medicine heals, and this is where spiritual medicine heals. And that is why you are over here doing your havan and all the mental things that you're doing. This is a spiritual place. And that is why people come, because they can feel the difference. It brings that harmony, that connectivity, and all of that. So just a few quick things as I am ending over here. There are a few upcoming programs. This is the program of today. If you go to lifeinyoga.org, then you will see the program there for today. Next Saturday in the afternoon, we have in Atlanta another presentation, Health and Healing with Yoga. And then we have a retreat that is coming up in Florida, an 8-day retreat, where we will also have all these kinds of discussion. So anybody who is looking for a vacation that is very holistic, and you want to have nice, peaceful time with discussions related to all of this while you do gentle yoga practices, you're all welcome over there. You have all the information. The next thing is, we are also part of a global yoga organizations. So there is something called Council for Yoga Accreditation International, CYAI. If you go over there, monthly we have seminars that are focused on health-related topics and spiritual topics. So this is what from July of last year we have had, and you can see all the topics that are coming through to the end of this year. So if any of you would like to join, you can go to cyai.org and you can do, it's all based on Zoom, of course, and YouTube, so you can interact. We have a book that is coming out that is called Yoga Concepts for Global Application, that represents the spiritual dynamics of yoga, that includes all of this we have discussed over here. It has a total of 38 chapters, and the 38 chapters are divided into 9 sections. The first section with 7 chapters is what is yoga. The second is the power of breath, where all the pranayam comes in. Third is the hatha yoga. Fourth is the tantra approach to yoga, which is all the vibrations. Then the source of all knowledge, the spiritual dimension that we discussed. Then comes the meditative approaches to yoga, and how you integrate it as part of every activity in your lifetime is the 7th section. 8th section is how you, if you're a yoga teacher, how you should approach, and lastly, how all of them hang together. So with that, the presentation is formally over. So we have questions. So we have spent about 40 minutes or 30 minutes of this presentation and 10 minutes before. So if you have any questions, we are open. Oh, okay. I'm here through Wednesday early morning, so tomorrow and day after. And this afternoon, everybody is welcome. Yeah, actually, Abhay Jain has what you call as open house. Indu Jain is a realtor. She knows all about open house. So if you can have the address, right? 7669. Oh, 7822 Shadow. A Long Shadow Drive in Sugarland. So 7882. You say it yourself.
7822 Long Shadows Drive in Sugarland. So it's in a great wood, 3 to 4:30 p.m.
So anybody who wants to see this demo of all of this, you're all welcome. So we can do the demo over there. And as I said, even when I'm gone, this machine will be there with Devji and Sushmaji. So if any of you want to check or whatever, it will be available for you. And if any guidance is needed for remote healing or anything from Maryland, I can always connect by Zoom and work with Devji and Sushmaji to whatever is needed.
Thank you, Dr. Rajan Narayanan. This was so enlightening. Of course, I'm hearing you probably third time. So it reinforces what I heard before. Thank you very much for taking the time. And he'll be here today. So he'll be here today. Any of you who want to talk to him while, after the program, you're welcome to, and set up your appointments for Monday and Tuesday.
Are there any physicists over here? People who understand physics? No. Then if you're interested in how this scientifically works, I can explain that too.
All right.
Okay. Thank you so much. So let's go off.
Thank you very much for paying attention to this wonderful presentation. Today, as you know, it's a very special day. We are celebrating India's Republic Day, and we shall be hearing or watching from our students in music class and dance. We'll have a very short program here. After the program, we'll do Shanti Part here and then proceed to the outside. And I'll take this opportunity to welcome, I see many faces, first time coming to Samaj or maybe after a very long time. You're all welcome. Especially goes out to the Pandya family who's come together as a family to attend today. Please come back and take the benefit of our satsang every Sunday. So without further ado, let me get our Desh Bhakti song started. Are you ready? Desh Bhakti song.
Hello. Mm, um, 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 so,
तो ये हमारे मॉन्टेसरी के, हमारे संस्कृति स्कूल के, और चूंकि 15 अगस्त और 26 जनवरी को बच्चे आते हैं, मेरे जो प्राइवेट स्टूडेंट्स भी हैं जो यहाँ नहीं आते, आज वो पहली बार इस स्टेज पे परफॉर्म करेंगे आपके सामने।
मातरम वंदे मातरम सुफलां जयजयशीतलां
बच्चों का प्रोत्साहन बढ़ाइए। और स्मृति जी सारा इंट्रो दे चुकी हैं, तो मैं इन सबका धन्यवाद करूंगा, राजा जी, स्मृति जी और आपकी पूरी टीम। सो नाइस टू प्रिपेयर देम शॉर्टली एंड प्रेजेंट सच ए ब्यूटिफुल सॉन्ग्स हियर। तो अब चलिए, अब मैं आपको एक बहुत विशेष बच्ची से इंट्रोड्यूस कराने वाला हूं। ये हमारे मॉन्टेसरी की स्टूडेंट है, संस्कृति की स्टूडेंट है, अभी गाना गा रही थी और अभी स्पीच देगी। तो प्रिशा बेटा आ जाओ। शी इज गोइंग टू स्पीक अबाउट लाला लाजपत राय, जिनका जन्मदिन कल था। तो लेट्स हियर हर। प्रिशा आ जाओ।
You have that paper? You'll be fine. Bring it, beta. No, you have the paper, right?
No, it's there.
In the school?
चलिए कोई बात
Okay.
नहीं।
Okay.
Let's prepare for dance. That's okay, beta. Thank you. Well, I apologize. She was surprised that she was presenting here. Usually we have a child speaker who presents their speech in the school every Sunday, and then they come to the podium at 11:50 and present the speech again. This is one of the ways we encourage our students to not be fearful of stage. And she's not fearful, it's just that she wasn't informed. As soon as the stage is emptied out, we're going to see a wonderful dance prepared by our own dance teacher, Kusum Sharma ji, and her dance class of DAV school. They'll be presenting again a Deshbhakti dance.
To enable whatever the device there, I cannot share screen.
They host. उसमें जाओ, participants नहीं गिरा। और ये वाला गेस्ट है, आप इसको यहाँ पर आएगा। Make host. वो PSGH है।
No, I guess.
ये वाला यहाँ पर आप कर सकते हैं। नहीं।
Yes.
यहीं भेज दो।
यहाँ पे
इतना इनकी वो है।
और ये रिप्ले।
अच्छा।
इनका चालू है।
अच्छा।
इनका चालू है।
I'm not controlling this anymore, right?
इनका चालू है।
I'm not controlling this anymore, right?
पम 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 ये देश है वीर जवानों का।
इनका चालू है।
I'm not controlling this anymore, right?
पम 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 ये देश है वीर जवानों का, मस्तानों का। इस देश का यारो, इस देश का यारो क्या कहना, ये देश है दुनिया का गहना। पम 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 ये देश है वीर जवानों का मस्तानों का इस देश का यारों
आजा आजा जिंद शामियाने के तले, आजा जरी वाले नीले आसमान के तले। जय हो चक दे इंडिया, चक दे इंडिया। वंदे मातरम वंदे मातरम वंदे मातरम वंदे मातरम।
सुजलाम सुफलाम मलयज शिवलाम सस्य श्यामला मातरम
वंदे मातरम वंदे मातरम वंदे मातरम वंदे मातरम वंदे मातरम।
ये दुनिया
एक दुल्हन, ये दुनिया एक दुल्हन, दुल्हन के माथे की बिंदिया।
ये मेरा इंडिया, ये मेरा इंडिया, I love my India, ये मेरा इंडिया।
हम लोगों को समझ सको तो समझो दिल भर जानी, जितना भी तुम समझोगे उतनी होगी हैरानी।
फिर भी दिल है हिंदुस्तानी, फिर भी दिल है हिंदुस्तानी, फिर भी दिल है हिंदुस्तानी, फिर भी दिल है हिंदुस्तानी। वंदे 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 भारत माता की, भारत माता की, भारत माता की।
आप सबसे क्षमा चाहता हूं फॉर द टेक्निकल डिफिकल्टीज। कभी कभी एक हफ्ते पहले पूरी प्रिपरेशन कर लो तब भी कुछ ना कुछ ग्लिच हो जाता है। दैट इज टेक्नोलॉजी, वी ऑल लिव इन दैट वर्ल्ड। तो अभी हमने अपनी डांस क्लास, अपनी म्यूजिक क्लास का सुना। अगले हफ्ते हमसे फिर जुड़िए तो अपनी बच्ची प्रीशा सिंह की लाला लाजपत नायक पर जो स्पीच है वो सुनने के लिए। तो वो आएगी बिटिया यहाँ पर, आपको उसके विचार सुनने चाहिए। तब मैं आचार्य जी, अब हम लोग शांति पाठ करेंगे, उसके बाद हम सभी लोग बाहर जाएंगे फॉर ध्वजारोहण एंड जनगण मन। और मैं ऑडियंस में, मुझे मालूम है कर्नल उपनेजा जी, कर्नल सूरजभान जी, बट और कोई भी जो मिलिट्री ऑफिसर्स हों either from US or from India, please join us outside for the flag hosting. Thank you.
तो खड़े हो जाएं सब। हाँ। ओम द्यौः शान्तिरन्तरिक्षं शान्तिः पृथिवी शान्तिरापः शान्तिरोषधयः शान्तिः वनस्पतयः शान्तिर्विश्वे देवा शान्तिर्ब्रह्म शान्तिः सर्वं शान्तिः शान्तिरेव शान्तिः सामा शान्तिरेधि। ओम शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। नमस्ते सब, प्लीज डोर के बाहर चलिए, वहाँ फ्लैग होस्टिंग होगी, आगे की एक्टिविटीज वहां पर होगा। थैंक यू वेरी मच।
I know. I normally do it. Oh, no problem. और मैं ट्रैवल के करता हूँ तो 3 साल के लिए कोविड का सही के लिए ये बैठा।
नमस्कार, कैसे हैं आप? That was great. So I'll be there. I will be there. Is it?
Put these back up and then I
When I get involved in this, I need as a practitioner, teacher, whatever.
So now
Okay, let's do that. और इसका मैनुअल होगा
because people don't know how to do it.
right.
And so we are developing the model and how many more people want
आप सब निकाल के दे दीजिए, सारा आपका खत्म हो जाएगा।
how many it's in the pack.
हाँ वो 3:30 को जो आया है 3:30 पे जो
Oh yes, absolutely. जब छवि ने देखा और समझ देखा और
Rajan ji, namaste ji. This is Dinesh Shah. Yes. How are you, sir? Since March 20, देव जी ने हमको बताया ज्वाइन हो गए देव जी हमारे बढ़िया दोस्त बता भी रहते हैं आ जाए क्या होता है our pursuit has been coming from our background where we come to scientific studies and all of that. ये हमारे जो संस्कृति की ये सब चीज जो है ये साइंटिफिक रूप में समझे कुछ अलग है and the thing is you see it can lead to such a big transformation in the world. Actually लोगों से बात कर रहा था कनाडा में you see what happens is if people can sell cigarettes and alcohol to advertise why cannot we bring this to advertise? And in fact, what it is the number you have to shoot according to the advert. You see, there is a person called Mark Delacour. And this man used to be a CEO of the company. And in 2004, he had a ski accident where he fell off the ski slope and went down the line and was found dangling in the air. The helicopter picked him up, took him to the hospital, his spine was broken in both ways. But I didn't think he was dead. So being a Roman Catholic, the Catholic gave the final victory. For 12 days, the man was out. Actually, they told him that if this man survives, he will be a paraplegic, he will not be able to speak. But then 12 days later, he was in a walking stick, walking out of the house. And what changed for him was he had been transferring to meditation practitioner from his childhood. And through his power of connectivity and listening, you see what happens is if you get close to, and this room is only one of many, many people. If we can get all of these people, and if we can, as a community, bring several $1 million, where every year we do $5 million of advertising there with digital media. With these people showing what it has done to them, we can transform them.
मेरा नाम शारदा मेहंदी रहता है लास्ट टाइम आप यहाँ आए थे तो तब से देखा है स्टार्ट
हाँ मैं देखा हूँ
फ्लोरिडा में थी तो देव जी ने ईमेल भेजी शारदा जी यू मस्ट गेट कनेक्टेड आई सेड ओके थैंक यू सो मच
we all benefited so much.
yeah this really
And then you saw your mom. Oh my God.
Mom is doing it together.
actually this and she
Yeah,
was
about
looking at this and that.
And you look very different when you saw in the TV. You look different now. Skinny, you're skinny. Look.
Good to see you.
शाम को आवाज देती हूँ
हाँ जरूर
absolutely I just saw
हम दोनों प्रोफेशन से प्रोफेशन है पर हमारा खूब योगदान अध्यात्म के लिए खूब इंटरेस्ट हो गया
आपकी स्पेशलिटी क्या है?
मैंने इंडिया से तो मैंने स्किन फिर यहाँ आके मैंने मेडिसिन किया तो मैं घूम के अंदर पिछले 5-6 साल से काम किया तभी मैंने मूव में तो भी मेरी बहुत सारी गोइंग
आप भी फिजिशियन आपकी स्पेशलिटी तो मैंने तो पिछले 2-3 सालों से कोविड स्टार्ट हुआ के बारे में सुनना पढ़ना शुरू किया योगा में अनिल कुमार तो जस्ट तो हम लोग को हमारे फादर से